What up, YouTube? Dave Maddock, got another video for you today. I've just been on this pimping trip lately, and what you see in front of you is another one of the things I had been working on. This started life as a Tenacious, and as you can see, it's completely different. We've got some Digicam scales on here now, acid treatment on the blade, back spacer, curls all the way around the back. The biggest difference would be the blade shape. It's kind of like a Warncliffe style blade now. Black hardware except for the pivot. Haven't gotten across to getting any black pivots yet. You can see acid treatment on the liner, back spacer there. You can see it's raised a little bit up top, comes around the back. I added a little bit to the back. I did take off about almost a ½ inch off this knife, so it's a little smaller. Added this back spacer just so it gives you a little bit of extra purchase on your pinky when you hold it, like so. Another thing also, in reverse grip, if you see here, your finger just glues right on there. Took a couple hints from a couple other knives that I liked. I went ahead and added jimping to the liners themselves, recessed the scale back so to expose them, but this is all nice and mild. It's not really aggressive at all, so it's not going to burn your hand off. And that's a kind of a something I took off of one of my other favorite Spyderco knives, is the Mannix, that has that jimping just pretty much everywhere on, especially on the bottom, so it's nice and mild, so it doesn't burn up your hand or your purchase there. Really cool acid treatment on the blade. If you look, you can if you have this in hand, you can faintly see the Spyderco logo is still there, faintly. Kind of wanted to keep it there, but then again, I was more into just doing the acid treatment, so if it stayed, it stayed. If not, then no big deal. And this knife is just completely kind of dark and, you know, camo-ish, no shiny things except the pivot there, unfortunately, as you can see there. I still have the peel ply on this Digicam because it's a pain in the ass to take off. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it or have any hints on taking this off, but it's still on there. I would recommend anybody that's using this, just peel it off before you even start milling on it. What ends up happening, or what I think happened to this, is from cutting the shape, beveling the edges or whatever, the heat from doing that has caused the peel ply, the plastic protective coating, to kind of adhere itself even better to the scale. So now I'm going to be doing some things to try to, on some pieces that are left over from this scale, experiment with that in order to see what I can do to get it to remove before actually doing this and possibly ruining this. Lockup on this guy is basically right where it usually is with Spyderco's. The tolerances have not changed any bit there. Centering, dead on. It's pretty good there. The action on it, it's pretty good. Detent, and I haven't even tested this yet, but yeah, it's there. It kicks in there, boom. So, very happy with this. Turned out really, really good. I'm really liking the back spacer. And this, it's not just, it didn't just like reshape the blade. The handle, if you're familiar with the Tenacious at all, there is an additional scale screw back here that used to be there that's no longer there. I had to take a bit off the back. In order to get this blade to kind of look nice when it's closed, this all had to be tapered and shaped so it looks like it went together. My total, you know, idea behind this was to make it look like it was a production knife. That's something that Spyderco would have made themselves, but then again, we know Spyderco would make something like this because they don't change the designs on anything that often. Love their knives, but as far as new designs and stuff, unless you know, it's usually collaborations or super high-end stuff. So so as you can see, yep, this has changed. This angle here is more exaggerated here. One of my issues with the Tenacious is it always seems to be sharp right there. I found it's the same case, I believe, also with the Resilience, and you get a little bit of it with the Persistence, or is it the Ambitious? The next size lower than that. To give you an idea, As you can see, this area here, it's wider. This is actually, now I've taken it off so it kind of almost looks like this. It's still larger than the Persistence, but just only by a little bit. As you can see, the handle shape has been changed quite a bit in comparison to that. So there you go. If you guys have been keeping up, you know that I just recently did this guy, which was the completely modded Resilience, and did the scales and the complete remod on that, raised back spacer, custom pocket clip or G10 pocket clip on that. I was going to do a G10 pocket clip on this, but I just simply didn't have enough knife to do it. It would have looked really dumb to do a G10 scale on that. It just wouldn't have worked out. Just the tolerant, or not the tolerant, but the fit and finish, countersinking the screws and stuff like that. Unless it was a thin metal, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So another look at that. To give you an idea, you know, and I don't want to make this into a long video, but I pretty much, after the Resilience, what happened with the Resilience there is I originally had a drawing for the Resilience, and I'm going to show you this right here in my super secret notepad. Okay, this Resilience right here is actually, I have a Resilience over at Tough Thumbs getting modded right now, and this is kind of the drawing for that Resilience. So basically it was to taper off. This is actually, even though it looks very similar to the Resilience shape, there is a lot of changes, mainly in the handle, this jimping, and a couple things there. And basically this is, I have the Resilience over at Tough Thumbs that he's going to go ahead and do this work for me. I sent it to him a little while back, and I don't know if he's gotten started on it yet or not, but he's a busy guy, so it's there, and whenever he gets a chance to do it, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. And to tell you the truth, you're probably better off letting him just do your knife at his convenience, because 9 times out of 10 you end up with a lot cooler stuff. He'll throw in extra material, all that stuff. So I just let him go. He's a good guy, and I just wanted to have something that he had done in my collection, so that Resilience is there. But basically, I'll take a knife and I'll draw it out, I'll trace it out, and then I'll mod it, and then I'll have like a sketch to go by. And basically, this is my initial sketch for the knife you just seen. Basically, the only thing that's different is this pocket clip is not included any longer, just because I couldn't get it to go. To do these holes right here to the edge, to countersink them and do whatever I needed to do with this G10, that area right there is way too thin. The only way I would have been able to do it is if I went ahead and drilled and re-tapped holes in the liner. But to get it to look right, those holes would have been way too close to the existing holes, and it would have just been a whole bunch of problems. And to tell you the truth, for just a pocket clip, it's not, the ends doesn't justify the means don't. You know what I'm saying. Basically, it wasn't worth the amount of work to do it to get that look. But as you can see, I drew out the jimping just like there. It all makes sense. All these lines go together. There's a reason for it. As you can see how the handle sweeps like that. Just meant for comfort reasons there. Basically tapering off here. The Tenacious usually goes out to about here, so a lot of knife had to be taken away. But basically that's what I do. As you can see here, this upswept area, all drawn out ahead of time. That way I had, and this was just sitting there while I was doing the scales and all this other stuff. That way I kept on track and kept my eyes on the prize, on the prize there. You can see, there you go. That'll focus in. How much was actually taken off the Tenacious blade there. Actually, this blade design or blade shape is actually not the one that's on there. I actually modded it a little bit more. I didn't want to take off so much, and it was a good idea to do that, because by doing it with the way the blade is now, I was able to get it to look a lot nicer when it's closed, as far as right here. This abrupt edge just kind of didn't work out, so I did it more relaxed. So just to give you an idea, you can see there, backspacer, freaking darn close to the original design there. As you can see the blade shape, here, let's hold this up to here. See how it's a little different? Basically because, as you can see, I had already thought about it there, because this little mark right there is exactly, I was like, you know what, that would look better, more abrupt, and it would just turn out a lot better. And basically, sorry, that area there when you get to over here, that angle, it going out longer, coming in, the smoothness and transition of angles there as the blade goes in, it just makes it look a lot nicer. Let's put this away real quick. This is what I'm talking about. For me, here, like the picture, to me this angle looked a little bit better, and just basically because there's, if I can get the focus in, if it would have been cut back here, this edge or the drop would start to taper down here, and basically it looked like this blade doesn't belong to the knife, is basically why I relaxed the grind a little bit there. But getting into about 11 minutes here on this video, I just wanted to show it to you guys there, just wanting your opinions on how it turned out. If you have come across this problem with the G10 peel ply, let me know if you have any. I've got a couple solutions, maybe a little hair dryer, heating it up so it peels up, or maybe some of that goof off like graffiti remover shit there to kind of get underneath there and get that adhesive to kind of pull off. But action is butter smooth on this. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I may or may not start doing these for people. I'm not sure. I just wanted to make something that I've never seen out there before, something I wish Spyderco would come out with, something like this, just to change up the Tenacious line and the budget, you know, just, you know, give us, you know, HDR 13 MOV with Digicam scale, something like this, you know, charge maybe $10 more than what a Tenacious would be, add a couple little extra things there, and just give us something different. But they can just keep on not doing it, and I'll just keep on modding their knives. I've got a couple other Spydercos that I've already got ideas as far as modding goes, to make them something a whole lot more special than what the factory version of it is. So there you go, guys. Let's take another look at her. Sorry about the lighting. I just want to throw this video up real quick. You can see there that raised jimping is just sick, man. I mean, I can't explain to you that it's mild, but it just adds so much better. I mean, this knife just melts in your hand. The purchase, either way, reverse grip or whatever, this thing is nasty. I mean, you can just tap somebody with it, hurt like all get out there. But there you go. Alright, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support as usual. Any suggestions, comments are welcome, or whatever. Hit like on the video if you like it. That way more people get to see it, and then that way I get more input on what I'm doing here with these modifications, or I guess you would call them pimp jobs. So there you go, guys. Take it easy. Peace.